Parents, if you have kids, maybe don't have them listen to this one. Santa stuff.
This is Total Babble. Total Babble. It's a show about music, pop culture, social media, movies, the internet, relationships, TV, whatever. Total Babble. The Total Babble Podcast.
Anyway, so after several fuckwits entered my yard without permission and were thusly bitten by my dog, I put up a big red sign that says, "Beware of dog, do not enter." And I think that people think that that sign isn't real. We have a service called Scoop Soldiers. Look them up. They're great. 10
I bet
out
they
of 10.
pick up dog shit.
Correct.
See how I figured that out? Yeah.
Exactly. So the guys from Scoop Soldiers come every Friday. Our regular bloke was on holiday, so another guy
A bloke is a
showed
person
up.
for people from this country.
Specifically a man person. Yeah. So this guy shows up, and on our account it very specifically says, "Do not enter the yard. Make sure you receive permission, knock on the front door, make sure the dogs are secure." This man blows his way straight through the "do not enter my yard, danger ahead" sign, yeah. Right? And I'm in my office and I can hear the dog doing her Cujo death bark, and I realize, oh no, someone's in the yard.
I'm about to be sued.
Yeah, I've nearly broken my neck running down the stairs to try and save whichever man has been stupid enough to enter our yard. And so I've called her off, but he starts laughing. And every time he laughs, she jumps in front of me and lunges towards him to try and protect me. And I just keep saying to her, I'm like, "Mate, shut the fuck up." Because I keep calling her and she comes and she stands beside me, and then he starts giggling, and then she runs and lunges at him. And I was like, "You need to get out of the yard." This guy didn't realize how close he got to being mauled by a dog, and he thought it was the funniest thing that had ever happened to him. And I'm like, are you for real right now? What is wrong with people? And by the way, he didn't have permission to be in the yard. So if you get bitten and you get attacked by someone's dog, if you enter their yard without permission, do you think that you have a right to sue?
Well, you can sue for anything in this country. I've been looking at all the stuff going on in the news this week, and it's just amazing the craziness in which we live. It is the sickest, dumbest society that has ever been in this country. And no, it makes sense logically that that's on you, but you'll sue for anything and get anything you can out of anything because really everybody is so self-involved and it's all just about them, and nobody needs to do the right thing. Just do the thing that benefits you, even if it's wrong. So, yeah.
It's so weird. I mean, I find it very hard to believe that they would win because my instructions are, do not enter the yard, the dog must be secure, you have to do this. There's a big sign that says, "Thou shalt not enter." And then they find it surprising when my dog
Well, usually they don't even really go into it needing to win. They just go into it expecting the insurance company to settle up because they don't want to have to go through the hassle. I got in a car accident and I was hit, but the people sued me because I ruined their basketball career. And that went on and my insurance company settled. And I told them, I don't want to do it. Let's go to court. Fuck these people. And they just settled because it was cheaper for them. That's the way things work. It's get whatever you can. And they will rationalize it by saying, oh, well, I'm not really hurting the other person. I'm just taking money from the insurance company that screws people anyway, so it's okay. But the costs and those monies have to come from somewhere, so it goes back to the people that are paying insurance rates. And again, it's all just selfish, self-involved bullshit.
And people are morons. I know we say that a lot, but they really are. There's a lot of dumb fuckery that goes on.
So obviously we started the show. Hi, I'm Stu, and I'm on drugs today. I feel like I'm doing pretty good being that I'm on drugs. I'm kind of showing myself that, hey, I can do this on drugs. Here's my deal. Lots of plumbing issues in this house. I'll spare you the stories. But last night we turned the water back on, and using the kitchen faucet, there was this big blast sound, and I figured it was there in the lines. And then there was low water pressure from the kitchen no matter what. So now I'm stressed, thinking I've screwed everything up. I look it up on the internet. Thank you, internet. And it seemed like it just blew a bunch of sediment out of the pipes that was now stuck in the faucet. So I cleared that out, but that was about 11 o'clock last night, and I fixed it. And then I'm in that mode of I have to get to sleep. I have a show tomorrow. I want to be bright and awake for the show, and I'm all wound up. So I took half a Xanax, which is not a lot, but I don't usually like to do drugs, and I'm all groggy and out of it now. So just think, if I wasn't on the Xanax, how fired up I would be right now, goddammit. Woo!
Woo! That's interesting. So do you take that to go to sleep, or do you take that during the day?
I take it to go to sleep. They say not to use it as a sleep aid, but if I take half of one, it shuts my brain down and I can get to sleep. Kind of like with Ambien that I also don't like to take. I'm against drugs, but I'll take them. That's where I'm at. And it's usually only the night before a show. I like to be awake for the show. This is important to me. My entertainment day job I've been doing for 23 years, and I can do it in my sleep and often have. It doesn't matter as much. I'm just autopilot. But this is like, okay, you have to think about what's happening and have a conversation with this woman with this wild accent and keep up with wiggity bits and all kinds of weird shit. So you have to be kind of sharp for this, you know?
You do have to be sharp for this. I was meaning to say to you this morning when we started the show, good morning, fellow American, because I'll have you know that I am now an American citizen.
Nice! We haven't talked about this much.
Of the United States. No, right?
Congratulations.
Thank you. I thought I would save it for you.
That's great, sort of. I mean, now you're a member of this shitty country, but congratulations on that. I'm happy for you. I knew that you were starting the process. I didn't know it was going to be that quick, but you took your test and you did that, and you probably know more about the history of this country than I do, and good for you.
Thank you so much. Yes, we received a letter in the post inviting us to come in for our civics exam.
So this is you and your husband?
Yes, my husband and I. We both went in. He went in and was gone for quite some time, and then when he came out, he said, "I'm taking the oath in an hour."
Ooh.
I was like, what?
You passed.
Yeah, so great. And he's been recommended for citizenship. And then because he travels all the time, as we talk about on the show, when you become a citizen, they take away your green card. And so what that means is, of course you don't have a green card because you're no longer a permanent resident. You're a citizen.
Right.
Citizens need passports to get in and out of the country. So now, as soon as he has stepped out of that meeting, he is on the clock. He is traveling to another country in less than 30 days, and there's a holiday in between. So he sat down. He's like, shit, I got to get a passport. So he's on there going, how can I get it? Anyway, and then I was like, I wanted to become a US citizen with you at the same time. My appointment was supposed to be 10 minutes after his. No, he got taken in at exactly his appointment time. I got taken in 50 minutes after my appointment time. So the clock is ticking down because he's going to go to this oath ceremony that he's jagged a spot in at 11:30, and mine's like tick, 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 tick. I go in for my test around 11, and I'm thinking there's no chance, Lance. There's no way. Anyway, I was so nervous. I couldn't remember my own name. Like, she was asking me questions, and I was scared that I was going to get them wrong. Like, when were you married? I know the answer to that, right, but I felt like I didn't, and it was really hard. And then the first civics question that she asked me was, what's the role of the judicial branch? And my brain went totally blank. I got it right, but then she kept asking me all these questions.
What's the answer to that, by the way? I would say to judge.
It is close.
Okay.
They settle disputes around the law. They just determine whether or not something is constitutional or not. They review the laws, that kind of thing.
And also, it's pretty interesting, and it says something about our country that we're really not on spot and we don't know what's going on. And we're just letting unbelievably dangerous immigrants into this country because your husband is an international drug runner and they've let him become a citizen. Did they not do any vetting whatsoever? I'm amazed by this.
It's amazing. It's amazing to everybody involved. My exam went for less than 5 minutes. He was in there for like 20.
Wow.
The lady was just like tick, 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 boom.
Well, they must be listening to the show.
English exam. Yeah. Had to write a sentence. She had to mark it and everything. And the guy that my husband saw said, well, I've recommended you, but I need to wait for it to be approved. Go and wait, and then we'll see. We got to the end of mine, and the lady goes, congratulations, and handed me a piece of paper. And I said, well, my husband's taking the oath in 20 minutes. Can I do that too? She was like, oh, yeah, okay, sure, no worries, bye. But this isn't even the best part. The best part and now I can't wait for you to get secondhand embarrassment. I started to get sad while I was out in the waiting room because I thought they've forgotten me. Maybe we were supposed to go in together. Now I've missed my chance, and now I'm not going to become a citizen today. You know, I was cracking the sads.
And really, you should know the way things are going in this country, we're all about separating families.
Exactly.
Right.
I was like, oh no, he's going to be a citizen. I'm not going to be, blah, 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 blah. Lady comes out, calls my name. Emily. I was like, oh, hi. And now I'm excited, like a little puppy. I was like, oh, hi. And so I walk up over to her and I'm carrying all of my paperwork. I'm like holding onto it really tight because you have to take the paper copy of the letter that you get, your passport, your green card, your driver's license. You've got to have all your stuff. And I've got a little folder like a Girl Scout. I'm ready, right? And she puts her hand out and I try to shake it and she tries to dodge it. And so I just keep trying to shake her hand and she pulls it back and she puts it again. And she just, anyway, I'm so nervous / excited. I think that I'm like, what? Why aren't she shaking my head? Oh no, she's reaching for my paperwork. And because I'm such an idiot, she has to say, ma'am, I don't shake hands. And I was like, oh yeah, sure, no worries. I said, sorry, force of habit, with my job, I shake hands. And she's like, no worries. And so we're walking to the back and now I'm red-cheeked, embarrassed. So like this off to a cracking start that this lady gets to determine my future and I'm trying to assault her without her consent. Like I'm trying to touch her unreasonably. Anyway, we get to the end and I'm so excited. And I'm like, can I fist bump you? And she's like, yes, you can fist bump me. And so she's like, congratulations. And then at the end, congratulations. And then she gave me a fist bump. And I was like, pew! It was great.
Well, that's nice. Welcome to this country.
Nice. Thank you. And I enrolled to vote. We enrolled to vote that day.
Good for you. Yeah, you'll do it because you've been required to as an Australian all these years. And not that it would have made a difference in the last one. I still say there's 1% of me that thinks we're going to get a year or two into the Trump administration and somebody is going to uncover something where it was all a big scam and we're going to be so far into his bullshit and taking over the country that we're not going to be able to do anything about it. And I know that's paranoid and crazy, and I'm going to talk about paranoid, crazy people here on the other side, but it feels so wrong, and I don't get it. And I guess it's just dude bro America. That's the only explanation I have for it, is that we are just so full of fucking dumb shit dude bros that I'm surprised you want to be a part of this, but I kind of get it. Red, white, and blue. Yay, Team America, and welcome Emily and her drug runner husband.
Yay, thank you. So our whole family's American now. So
that's really right, good. Because of the birth thing, and you're a birther. You got a whole birther thing going with your kids. Good for you.
Yeah, one of them is a birther. Mm. One of them could be the president. He has zero interest in public service, though. He has a very interesting thing, because I joke and I say, you could be the president. And the first thing that his mind goes to, actually, the eldest child, is he said, why would I want to put our family in that sort of danger? And I was like, wow, that's very astute for an 11-year-old.
Yeah, well, he's had some influence in this country, apparently, so there we are. Yeah, we just live in this dumb world, this world of America, I'll say specifically, where people are now idolizing a guy that shot and killed someone in the street because he's cute, and they've somehow decided he's some kind of Robin Hood. And I've been kind of watching the news. I've had so much else going on, and I'm going, why are there pictures of Luigi from Mario and Luigi everywhere in memes, and what's going on? And then I find out it's, the guy that shot the United Healthcare CEO, allegedly, apparently, whatever. And that's just insane to me that now this guy, with all these idiot people out there, has become kind of a hero, and the women are saying, oh, he's so cute. And I guess you could say that if there was a really hot killer that was female, guys would be doing the same, but we'd kind of just keep it to ourselves and just be going, yeah, I'd fuck her. And that would be our dumb shit man mentality. Men and women are dumb for different reasons, and this is an example of women being dumb, at least just based on what I've seen portrayed, is this guy now getting a bunch of fans. And United Healthcare sucks. I had them for a while. They were the worst, but I never had the urge to go out and kill somebody, and nor is that right. And we live in the sickest society that has ever been on the planet. We've never had anything like this. And between these people and the goddamn Jesus Nazis that are coming to get us, I have just about had it with this country. And the irony is, you just got your citizenship. I haven't been talking about it on the air, but I've been working on getting my passport for me and my elderly mother in case the Jesus Nazis come. And I just got it this week, so I'm happy about that. I feel 1% better. You're happy for getting in. I'm slightly happier for the ability to get out if it goes bad. That's where I'm at. I threw a lot out there.
That's a lot. Well, one, congratulations on the passport.
Yeah.
I just completed the paperwork and stuff for mine, and my husband submitted for his 2 days ago.
And you probably know you can do like a rush job on it, even though that's the case, getting it before he needs it based on what you're saying. That's going to be tough.
Well, we've done it for our son before. He's in a very specialist window.
Okay.
He's got it. He's going to get it within 2 weeks. So we're in a good spot there. So we've got experience in doing that. So it's going to be great. The CEO murder that was really captured my attention. I thought it was just horrible and tragic, had all the hallmarks of a hit. You know, it was very obvious that that man was the target. It was premeditated and everything from the second it happened. And then as it started to unfold, it started to get more and more bizarre. But even before that guy was caught, the thing that I found so appalling was I was on social media reading, and the comments underneath, I don't understand the mentality. There are people who think that he deserved to die.
Right.
And he's a father. He is
still a human being, even if he's a shitty one.
Exactly. And it has nothing to do with like what the guy looked like or anything, but people, long before they knew who the perpetrator was, were celebrating the murder of this man and laughing about how Blue Cross Blue Shield reversed some of their decisions on anesthesia within 24 hours of that murder and these sorts of things. It was just, it's very disconcerting.
I have determined, live inside Grand Theft Auto. That is the world that we live in. All these weird things that are happening in these plots and these justifying killing people. I think there's two things that have happened. There's this mentality of, oh, there's a cool angle and something fun and different, and we live inside Grand Theft Auto, and that's why football players, when they're playing their games in the NFL, their houses are getting robbed because there's an international crime ring that is targeting them, and they know exactly where they're going to be. That's like something out of Grand Theft Auto. And then there's this thing of, well, screw that guy. We can kill that guy. He's rich and has been hurting people forever, so that's okay, and it's justified. And I think part of that is that we're living inside Grand Theft Auto, but also that we lived through COVID, where we were told by a government that, oh, geez, people are going to die. And it got acceptable that, oh, people are going to die. Oh, there's only 1,000 a day dying today. And that's just acceptable. And I remember seeing in social media for so long during COVID that, well, you know, everybody's got to die of something. And I don't believe in vaccines, so I'm just not going to do it. It's this mentality of we have acceptable death, and really we should be trying to keep everybody alive, it seems to me. It seems like that's a better way to go. And that was the goal 15 years ago. But now it's just accepted of, oh, some people die and that's what we do. And it's fine. And that guy, because he was the leader of a corrupt company, should be killed in the streets. And that's fine for us. Let's go with it. That'll be the newest goal. And you'll get an achievement for that in Grand Theft Auto, you know?
Yeah, it's horrific. And I wonder what radicalized this guy. My husband, as soon as he saw it, he said, I bet you that is a disgruntled customer, someone whose life has been ruined, or somebody who had to watch their wife or child die or something. And
based on my having to deal with them 10 years ago when I heard CEO of United Healthcare, I went, okay, that's somebody that was pissed off at them. Let's watch and see how it shakes out. And that's what it was. And it's not lost that those companies need to be better to people, but they're just corrupt and greedy like everyone else. And there's always going to be crazies. And if we can stop living in Grand Theft Auto, that is what needs to happen. But also people need to be better than people. And when I say people, I mean corporations need to be better than people. So
it's just horrific. The fact that people don't seem to value life. And that is a marked difference in this country to, say, almost any other country in the world. But I will say America, as in the continent, is... in the Western world, is relatively desensitized to death and violence, with the exception of Canada. But, you know,
they're even so much better than we are, from what I can tell. I've talked to a couple people up there. I joked around with our ghost friend a little bit, but I have a friend genuinely that lives up there that it's like, oh, can I come live there now? And I go, well, you have healthcare and stuff, right? And he's like, yeah, it's really bad. He goes, you know, if I have something wrong with me, I make an appointment and I have to wait a couple weeks to get to the appointment. So, okay, that's exactly what we have here. And then they don't have to pay for it, and they have pretty good health care from what I can understand. But we can't have socialism in this country, even though as a human being, you should have the basic human right to be able to live and not bankrupt your family because you had the audacity to get sick. How dare you get sick? Now we're going to take everything you own. It's just disgusting. And God damn it, let's have a happy show.
Let's have a happy show. The weird thing about this country versus other countries as well is things aren't comparatively priced because of insurance companies and because they dictate the prices for a lot of things. The cost of different medicines and different accoutrement, just any medical shit, is way more expensive here than what it is anywhere else. So in these other countries, people say that healthcare is expensive. Healthcare is uniquely expensive in this country because it's what the market will bear because of the dominance of insurance companies. And something that not a lot of people talk about is that insurance companies negotiate the bill down. Insurance companies have a set fee that they will pay, and they will negotiate your bill down on behalf of you. But people without insurance still get charged full price.
Yeah, because greed. Why should they adjust it if they don't have to? It's the going rate.
Exactly. But it is insane. I remember when we first moved, I had my eldest son and my firstborn son in a hospital here. The bill was more than $40,000.
That's insane.
In Australia, it was free. And it's free for everyone.
All healthcare ought to be free. If you say the S word, if you say socialized medicine, right-wing lunatics freak out in this country, and it makes complete sense, and there's nothing wrong with it. And if you don't want socialism, then don't call a cop, and don't call the fire department, and don't use any of those other socialized programs that we have in this country. You're not allowed if you're going to bitch about it. And I know that's the cliche thing to bring up, but it makes sense. Those are socialized programs, you dick. Let's keep people alive and keep them healthy.
Yeah, exactly. Garbage man. You know, there are a lot of programs, and people always complain and say, well, it's going to make the taxes. unobtainable. It's going to, whatever.
No, they won't. No, it won't.
No,
Not
it
if we
won't.
don't let people fuck us. We are letting the corporations fuck us, and we're letting greed happen, and we're doing it more based on the administration that we have just elected. And it's going to get even worse for the next 4 years. And I think we're going to get to a point where we are going to have people rioting in the streets. Many of them, Trump's own people, his supporters, are going to be so pissed off that they are going to be rioting in the streets. And I will say that he is not going to last the full 4 years. Whether he dies or gets killed, he's not going to last the full 4 years. Whether he's taken out of office, he's not going to last the full 4 years. We're still going to have his shitty underlings there running the country. And I think within a year, somebody is going to try to assassinate him again. I think that is for sure coming once people get an idea of what's really happening here. They're going to get so pissed off, and one of those lunatics is going to feel so betrayed that they're going to go after him. And just mark my words today, it's going to happen. And then I'll say, well, everybody was okay with the guy from United Healthcare getting shot. Maybe this is okay too. And then I'll say, no, we really shouldn't try to kill anybody, though I would like to see him in jail being somebody's bitch. And now they're coming after me for sure. And good that I have my passport.
It's terrifying just to think about how things are happening. I know a bunch of people who work in like retail, consumer goods type stuff. All of these big companies, let's just say like the Home Depot, just as a random potential example of that, all of the buyers are stockpiling shit from China now. Everyone, before the change of administration, is ramming so much stuff across the border and filling up their warehouses because they're terrified of the tariffs. And all that happens is that we still have to buy all that stuff, and then they just pass on the cost to consumers.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. And even if it doesn't affect them that much, they're going to use it as an excuse. And even if they're not that damaged, they're going to go well beyond what they would have to charge to break even, because now they have that as an excuse. It's like all the food costs have gone up. There is really this big plot underway. They've uncovered it. Boy, this sounds conspiracy theory now, but all the grocery stores have a meat app that they use, and they all compare their own prices on the meat app so that nobody really underbids that much, and they can keep the overall price of the meat high and get everybody paying that. And it's this consortium of collusion to keep those prices high. That's what we know about, and somebody uncovered with the meat app. Who knows what else is going on? And I'm sure it's going on everywhere.
Yeah, they do it for milk. They do it for fruit and vegetables, all of that kind of thing. It's horrifying, actually. And a lot of them will collude in terms of how much they are going to pay a supplier or a farmer for their produce. And then they standardize on that so that no one will pay more for it. And so it drives the primary producer costs down. Yeah, 100%.
And the CEO of Kroger, which is Ralph's, and all of these other supermarkets that are part of his chain, got caught in an email admitting to things, and he got busted for that in the same way that the gas companies have gotten busted for colluding to keep gas prices high. It's this big corporate bullshit, and it really is a thing, and that is part of what feeds the conspiracy kooks that think that everything is a plot to get them, because in some cases it is, but not everything is. And it's just, again, we come back to the two sides of kooks on the extremes, and then the people in the middle that are like, oh my God, what are we going to do about this? And I don't know. I just know people are going to get pissed and start rioting, and it's coming.
Yeah, it's insane.
All right. Well, I'll give you this. I'll give a +1 to Emily, going to our news stories now.
Oh.
Remember we were talking about the Mattel doll Wicked story?
Oh, yeah, exactly. The porno site.
Remember what you said would happen?
I suspected that they would put stickers on the boxes.
And also that somebody would sue Mattel and it was going to be a big thing.
Yeah.
Well, here you
Did
go.
it happen yet?
Yeah. Here you go.
Maker Mattel is at the center of a federal lawsuit filed here in L.A. Mattel is being sued for mistakenly putting a porn link on the packaging for Wicked dolls, according to court documents obtained by TMZ. A mother from South Carolina claims her and her daughter suffered emotional distress. The plaintiff also claims Mattel did not offer a refund and believe she's incurred damages as a result. Mattel has yet to respond.
And in a related story, a local perv has filed suit against Universal Pictures. He went to see Wicked and expected to see some hot witch-on-witch action, and he didn't get what he deserved, so he's going to sue them now, too. So just lawsuits everywhere. I may have made up that last part.
Lawsuits everywhere.
So you were right about this. Somebody is absolutely suing, kind of to be expected. Your opinion on this? It's not good that your daughter sees the porn. I wonder if the daughter really saw the porn. I wonder if the daughter really went to the Wicked website. Do you think that they have a point in their lawsuit? Do you think the mother has a right to sue if her daughter actually went to the website? Do you think she suffered emotional distress like they're claiming?
No, and no.
Right.
Because here is what I know for a fact. Because what do you think I did as soon as I discovered that this happened? I went to the website. So I know for a fact that when you go to wicked.com, a big pop-up says, basically stop, access restricted to adults 18 plus. It includes explicit and pornographic material. Either exit or enter.
But when they said that with that banner, was there a scantily clad woman in the background of the banner?
No.
Okay.
No, it's all black.
All right.
So it's just completely blacked out. And I'll hold it up to the camera. So that's what you get.
Yeah, there it is.
So I feel like this is frivolous in the highest. I don't think that she is mentally scarred. Does it say how old the child is?
It didn't in that story. I haven't researched it more than that story, but under 18, I'm sure.
Right. If they're under the age of 13, they probably arguably shouldn't have been able to be using an electronic device unsupervised. Bad parenting. So, if she went on her iPad and then just duded on the clickety bit and just clicked enter without reading anything, then maybe she could have seen things. Now, because I'm a prude, as we've discussed before, I've never clicked on enter. So I don't know what happens when you click on enter. I've just clicked on exit every time.
Well, there's lots of people doing stuff. There's people doing things there that you could probably figure out. And also other things you couldn't figure out. Things you could never imagine are happening there. There's probably things involving Santa. I don't know.
I clicked enter. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay, so, all right. Okay, so to be clear, now I've clicked enter.
Welcome to Porn with Emily.
Yeah. Actually, when you scroll through, there is not a lot of stuff. There are scantily clad women, but I've seen women more scantily clad in music videos. There is no pornography on the homepage. In fact, nobody even kissing or anything like that. So on the homepage of wicked.com, unless you're clicking through things to get stuff, it's not a 2-click trauma.
Right.
You're going to have to do a 3-click or beyond to get PTSD out of this situation. So all of my line of questioning would be around how long were you on the site for with your child, ma'am? How long did it take you to find a money shot? Because this seems weird. I've seen more pornographic material in ads on YouTube that have been promoted or ads on Facebook than through that little clickety experience that we just went through. So if there's no way this woman is going to win, I think it's just frivolous and made up. She is trying to see if she can get a settlement.
Obviously frivolous and made up. I wonder if she's going to win based on maybe an insurance company like we talked about, just saying, buy her off with whatever we have to buy her off with. I wonder if that's going to happen. I like companies that will make a point and just say, no, wrong is wrong, and we're going to fight this. Here we go. And then a lot of times people back down, and I would love to see that. So, okay.
Do you know what I'd do? It's
evil smile there. Boy, she's got an evil smile.
Okay, so let's talk about what we would do if we were bad people, Stu.
And we might be.
What we would do if we were bad people is we would, if we win, lose, or draw, it doesn't matter, but we'd keep a copy of the paperwork. We'd make sure that we stay abreast of what her daughter does as she continues to grow up. Then, as soon as she gets to college, we'd recruit her to become the biggest star on Wicked.com.
You save all that porn money. You offer her a figure to where she can't say no.
Oh,
that's pretty good.
How the tables have turned. I feel like that is an ultimate hilarious long game.
And then you have her start each video with, "Hi, Mom."
Oh. Yeah, because, to be honest, her mum probably does frequent the site.
Yeah. So, okay, if you go back to that app, let me ask you this. If you go and you look at the Wicked site, what happens? Is there a search area? Little search field there where you can enter something to search for your kink?
Not that I can see. Yeah, if you click on the burger, it says log in, scenes, movies, girls, photos, and live cams. It says log in or become a member. 25 years of award-winning movies.
I just wonder if there's a way to search for Santa. I wonder if there's a Santa area there within the Wicked website for the Santa kink out there. It's something I made up in my head as we went along, but I wonder if it exists. I'm sure it exists overall. I'm wondering if it exists there.
Okay. Luckily for me, I'm a grown-ass woman and nobody's looking at my search history, so I just searched for, is there Santa porn?
Of course. And
there is so much Santa porn.
Oh.
It's no pun intended, but the internet is heaving with Santa porn. And there are there are articles exploring the fetish. Exploring the fetish of sexual arousal towards Father Christmas. And the opening line is, ho, ho, ho. Yeah. And I think that is funny. Why do you think that people think that Santa is hot?
Goes down the chimney? I don't know. And I wonder if there's Facebook groups. Are there Facebook groups for Santa porn? They probably couldn't have the actual porn, but I wonder if they get together to talk about it.
Oddly specific. Yeah. However, there is a study done by BeNaughty.com. I wonder if they're like a competitor to Wicked anyway.
That's the real name, by the way. It's a guy named Be Naughty.
They surveyed more than 11,000 people, and they found out that 20% of women had a fantasy involving Santa. And they also found out that 6% of men had dressed up as Santa in the bedroom.
Hi, Santa. Want my cookies? See, that's something they would throw in there that me, even as a dude, I would be cringed and go, let's have no cookie comparisons. Yuck. I saw mommy fucking Santa Claus on all fours underneath the Christmas tree.
God. Yeah. It's so gross.
She's actually clicking. Are you clicking into actual videos now? You prude?
No, I would never. No, I'm reading about the psychology behind the fetish and all of the potential reasons.
Traumatized as a child.
Why it's potentially a kink.
Something as a child with Santa, they sat on his lap and something bad happened maybe.
No, it's just stuff like they're surmising that it's his physical attributes and things like, red is a very erotic color for people of all genders, and Santa has physical qualities that lots of women find attractive, a big burly bearded man, that it's taboo. There's something interesting about fucking the wholesome holiday icon, which I find so weird, and that it's classic sort of social conditioning, and that children associate Santa with the joy of receiving gifts and magic, and when you get older that becomes like exciting or something. So there you go. And there's plenty more where that came from, but I'm still I used to work with a guy who used to say, "Don't yuck my yum," but I'm definitely going to do that. That whole Santa thing is grotty.
There's some yums that are yucky, we can absolutely say. There just are.
Yeah, that is one. I'm going to put that up there. No, say no to Santa porn.
I wonder if there's elf on a shelf porn. How would that work out? It's a little tiny elf. Well, how do you do that? What happens there? What's the idea of elf on a shelf porn?
Okay, so I am currently wondering whether or not you have actually been surveilling the text messages between me and my girlfriends, because we have a group text, and one of them has elf on a shelf.
No, but I would.
Okay, one of them has elf on a shelf, and so I amuse myself by sending her the most fucked up and filthy ideas for elf on a shelf, and the one that I sent her this morning involved a table mixer and putting a Barbie doll in it and having it spin around to Cherry Pie by Warrant while the elf on a shelf sits on a pile of dollar bills. That was my contribution. Apparently that one didn't make it, but I thought it was a great idea.
And I think that that's got to be something that's going to come into culture if it hasn't already, because you can put sex into anything and our society does, but elf on the shelf is kind of young, so I wonder if that's taken place yet. And I wonder if maybe it's a thing where kids who had elf on a shelf need to grow up and acquire that kink that they had from early on. And maybe that's what we're waiting for in society. And that'll make us even more Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, definitely. I think that we're going to have a whole generation of kids who have to sit the elf on the shelf in the cuck chair to get aroused. Because the elf on the shelf is always watching.
And it's sitting there, and they're saying to their partner, "Oh, yeah, he's watching. He's watching. Do you see him watching us? He's watching us. Oh, do it for the elf."
That's so fucked up and creepy. Oh, another thing. Again, you know me. I spend a lot of time on the internet, which is surprising because I don't have free time. Anyway, I was flicking through, and I don't know if you ever flick through the reels. I flicked through the reels, and it caught my attention because it opened with a blood-curdling scream. And I can just hear children screaming. And as a mother, this is very frightening to me. You know, women are predisposed to, our ears prick up when we hear crying or screaming children. So, of course, I'm intrigued. I'm going to watch this fucking video now. And so there's a mother, and she's like, "What is it? What is it? Was it?" And I'm like, "Oh, I've been there." And this mum has the phone, and she's running downstairs. She was recording herself baking something or something. Now she's got a phone in her hand. She's running downstairs. She meets one of the children on the stairs. The child is just face a mess, blubbering, tears, screaming. She's touching it! Screaming. Runs down into the basement, and there's all these other kids there. They're for a holiday party. And they're all screaming in unison. And there is a small child holding the elf on a shelf. Now, the rule is that if you touch the elf on a shelf can't fly and can't fly back to Santa. So there are kids screaming on the floor going, "He can't fly! Put it down!" And I was like, wow, they are really taking this quite seriously. And then the mum, bursts into laughter. It's like, okay. But the mum can't touch the elf either. So she has to get a pair of tongs to touch the elf because she can't blow her own cover.
At that point, isn't the deal off anyway? You just pick it up and go with it because it's screwed anyway, I would think, but apparently not.
But she's like, "It's okay. I'll just tell Santa. It'll be fine." And she's handling this thing with a set of tongs. And the more that I watch these things, the more I realize I am so glad that I never, ever, ever got an elf on a shelf. My kids ask for it every year for 6 years. And every year I was like, no, the best I can do is mensch on a bench. We aren't Jewish, but I'll get you a fucking mensch on a bench. You can put a mensch on a bench inside the house, and that's cool. You can have Christmas trees. There will be no elf on a shelf coming into our house. And now our friends have run out of ideas, which is why I'm offering them really helpful suggestions. Like I had another one the other day, which had a Barbie doll with a string of pearls coming out its anus being pulled by the elf on the shelf. Again, that didn't make it.
What's odd about that? That's kind of hot.
Right? Why not? Yeah, apparently that wasn't helpful either. But no elf on a shelf. Do any of your mates with Sprogs have an elf on a shelf?
Okay, first question would be Sprogs is children? Okay. Mm-hmm. No, they haven't done the elf on a shelf. As a theoretical parent, I would be the best parent ever because I can say that, not having to do it. I don't think I would even lie to my kid about the Santa part. I think I would say, yeah, all the other kids, they're getting bullshitted, and here's what you need to know, and they're being bullshitted, and don't fall for it. And you don't have to tell them, you don't have to ruin their existence, but I, as a parent leading you through life, wanting you to become a good person, am not going to lie to you. I wonder if there is something traumatic about everyone that as a kid is told there is a Santa and then finds out there is no Santa. I wonder if even on a minuscule way that traumatizes a kid, and maybe every kid that has been lied to would be even a tiny bit better off had that not happened.
It's interesting. My friend group and I, we talk about this because we are all at various stages of the Santa continuum. So one of my very good friends, her husband was like you, never ever let their kids believe in Santa. They've never gotten presents from Santa. They've never believed, nothing like that, their whole lives. Then another friend group, one of their kids still believes in Santa, the other one doesn't. And my kids, I don't think that they believe in Santa anymore, but we have a rule, which is if you don't believe, you don't receive. So I think that they're totally pretending.
Playing the game.
And oh, yeah, and have I got a story for you? Because I think the youngest is onto us and he's testing us. And I'm going to talk to you about it if we have time in the show, because it's actually pretty funny.
Go.
We were talking about, that trauma thing and when to have the conversation with the kids as well, because you don't want them to get so old that they're the only ones that still believe in Santa. And we're trying to talk about how we're going to explain to our kids why we lied to them about Santa, right? And in addition to why it's, a cultural norm and that kind of thing, but I think it's beyond that. And what we've come up with and why the magic of Christmas is so great is there is something so wonderful about being able to experience the joy of giving completely anonymously, the ability to give without expecting any thanks for it. We want to explain that as a concept to our children as a metaphor for more things in life. That it's not just about giving gifts, but helping people without any expectation of anything in return. There's something nice about the separation of that dynamic. Now to the part where our youngest son, I think he's on to us and is totally shitting inside our brain. So we've got the eldest one who writes everything on a Christmas list and then he shares it electronically and then dynamically updates it on our phone. and then the other one who you have to actually prod for, hey, do you want anything? So I'm like, hey, baby, do you have your heart set on anything? He's like, no, not really, but...
Goodwill toward men. If we could have goodwill toward men.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't want anything. He's like, no, not really. I don't really need anything. The very next day, he comes and shows me this video, and I'll send it to you because it's absolutely insane. And for anybody who's watching, go and look it up. It's called the M.O.A.B, Mother of All Blasters. Imagine the most insane Nerf gun you've ever seen. It is pneumatic by the looks of things. You wear a massive backpack that has rounds that include shell casings. It's absolutely bonkers. And so I'm watching this video, and all of the videos are of grown men. So I go and look it up. Guess. You might be looking it up, but if you had to guess how expensive this thing is, guess how much that fucking thing costs.
I haven't looked at a price yet, but...
Hear it?
I don't think this is even the M.O.A.B that we're at now. He's got a big thing on a backpack he's going to get to in a second. Here we go, I think. It's green. It's got a backpack.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Look at it. Look at it. Look at that. Okay, now you see what, and I was like, wow, okay. So he wants this. Okay, he wants this thing. Guess how much that is, looking at that thing. Guess how much it is.
It's very involved. I've never seen anything like it. I want one now. I'm going to guess that is $300.
That is what everybody keeps guessing.
Yeah.
And then I, set your face to stunned when I tell you that thing is a custom build. It's $4,600.
Holy fuck.
And if you want the extended barrel or whatever, it's an additional $300. And I said to my son, darling boy, that thing is nearly $5,000. He said, what? Now, I don't know anybody who has that amount of money except for grown men who still live in their mum's basement alongside the women who they're keeping prisoner against, games of World of Warcraft. Like, that is... I don't know anybody who's got that. And Elon Musk, like tech bros, people who have great jobs and good money, but don't have real expenses.
Like if anybody had the wherewithal to take that amount of money and buy this, I would be concerned about them and probably might not want to have them as a friend.
Right. Because I said to him, I was like, mate, if you ever find yourself with that amount of money, you're going to want to be buying a car so you can get yourself to and from school. Anyway, he's thought about this and he's like, oh man, I still really want it. Anyway, later that night, 10:30, I'm in bed. I'm about to be lights out. Thanks very much. And this little guy comes pitter-patter right up to me. I'm like, sweetheart, why are you awake? I can't sleep. And he's holding a piece of paper. And I'm like, okay, what's this? He goes, well, I've been thinking. I'll just ask Santa for it.
And how do you counter that? Do you say Santa has a budget? What do you say to that?
And so he has a picture. He said, I've drawn a detailed diagram so that the elves know how to make it. So he's written a letter to Santa. He's drawn a fucking diagram and then he's folded it up. And I was like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? He goes, I'm just going to leave it here, and puts it on my bedside table.
Do you want to be a good mother?
Yeah, and pitter-patters off to bed. And I turn to my husband, and he looks at me, he goes, he knows exactly what he's doing, cheeky fucking prick. I go, I know. I go, what are we doing? Anyway, the next day, he is positively buoyant because he thinks that he has cracked the code on Christmas. And so then you're wondering, oh, how do you get out of this? Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying everything. I said, Santa is locked in many... a battle for intellectual property. He has to make things under license. Those elves, they're still wooden toys akimbo.
Your answer is copyright dispute.
My answer is copyright dispute. I mean, you might be able to get a Barbie because Santa and Mattel go way back, but this guy, he makes these in his basement. This is a custom job. I think that Santa will be fixing to get sued if he makes one of these things. And he's like, oh, that's a good point. He goes, I guess we're just going to have to see.
At this point of the conversation, is he really thinking, hey, Santa might work it out? Or does he know that you know that he knows and he's just trying to push you into getting this for him because he doesn't really have a concept that $5,000 for one of these things is a lot of money? Which way is he working that?
I am not 100% sure, but I know that he knows the value of money. I think he is torn. I think he knows something's up and that it's probably not right, but he's using this as the foil, as this is the test. This is the ultimate test. So then I'm trying to come up with what is an alternative. And so let me show you what I have gotten.
And I'm just going to tell you, as a dude that just saw that and wants it himself, nothing you can come up with is going to be good enough. I'm prejudging. I'm prejudiced.
Fair enough. However, please allow me to present to you a super powerful Nerf Gatling gun.
Oh, that's pretty cool looking. It's on a tripod.
It's on a tripod.
It's got a whole rail.
Long-barreled. It lights up.
Yeah.
It's got a laser sight.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty cool.
And it fires things fast. And that is less than $100.
I was going to say, that's only $3,000.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So,
that other one, though, it says it takes like an hour to load it, though. That's the one you want. I would just, you know what? You want your kids to be happy. Just put aside the $4,000, $5,000, whatever it is, and just go with it. You'll look back and go, oh, I did everything my kids wanted. I bought their love. It was fine.
yeah, I mean, if we're going to do that, I think I'm going to have to go and start working for Wicked.com or sell a kidney or something.
There you go.
Talk about things I'd never do. But
Crude Australian porn kink. There's a new thing we can work on. I don't know.
Exactly.
What do I do with that?
No, thank you. Yeah, exactly. It's just... Oh, that would be actually... I'm sure that there are people who have that as a kink. Maybe I should set up an OnlyFans. And the thing about it that makes it so popular is it's so incredibly prudish. And everyone joins thinking, is today going to be the day? But the joke's on them. It's never going to be the day.
And they keep that membership forever because they're waiting. And you entice a little bit like, oh my God, I showed a little bit of ankle today. What might happen tomorrow?
Yep, but it's always going to be no tits, all turtlenecks. That's what it'll be called.
Oh, she moved her collar down a little bit today. Did you see it? Yeah, that was so hot. My joke has been forever, and it's probably insensitive now, and it probably offends somebody that all those women that are made to wear burqas. That's imagine the porn over there. Oh my God, she showed a little eyebrow today. Ooh, that's pretty hot, you know?
There is. I've heard things.
So, again, a show where we went in directions we didn't even know, and I love our random directions.
People say that we're rudderless, but I disagree.
And at this point, I will admit that I have no idea what a rudderless is. You're the smart one. I'm the Corchester asshole.
Oh, no, rudderless.
Oh, rudderless. Okay. Well, that I completely agree with. Woo!
Yes.
You just put at the show is you just put your hands up and woo, wherever it takes you. It's like a log ride with no tracks.
Exactly, wherever the wind takes us.
There we go. Everybody have a fine week. Talk to you next one.
I'm just waving again. Why do I always wave?
You wave. People can't hear wave.
No, people can't hear wave, but they can hear it in their hearts. I'm waving to
it's the
my
warm
hearts
Christmas
are waving to
spirit
your
of
hearts.
Santa porn. He would wave.
Speaking of Christmas spirits,
okay, we're not done.
What's your drink of choice for Christmas? If you celebrate Christmas,
I think I'm easing back on the drinking again. I don't think I'm going to drink. I'm healthier if I don't drink, so I don't have a problem. I think I'm deciding not to drink. Okay, there we go. There's a show.
Great, I love that for you. There is a show.
Okay, you know how this goes. Like us, subscribe, tell your friends, write a nice review, engage with us. We're Total Babble on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Threads. Email is show@totalbabble.com. The Total Babble Podcast.